Let's do this. So, welcome back to the MaxTalks Podcast. I'm James, and I am joined this week by just Max and George. How are we, boys?
What a change.
What a change. What a change.
Weird.
Feels weird, doesn't it?
Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, good.
No,
though.
we're good.
Apart from my finger that's fucked.
That was a bit grim. The actual WhatsApp picture shows it off worse.
Yeah.
Played well yesterday. It was worth that injury.
A couple of saves.
Hey, he's
It's
done
all
well. I was going to say that this heat as well is absolutely ludicrous.
If someone could just go up and chin the sun, I would be
Just
a
give
big
it a little
fan of it.
fuck off.
Get for him!
Have that, you fucking...
I vote you, Max, because you've got the biggest head. So
Yeah, I actually do. That's the thing. Oh, Pizza Hut hat.
No, that's a school memory.
That is a school memory. That is a school memory.
So
Which leads us
basically,
onto our topic.
this week we are doing school. So school is something that we've all had very good memories at, and also some very, very bad ones. So just to start off, Max and I went to the same secondary school, and George went to a slightly different secondary school. But I'm going to start this in exactly the same way we do when we speak to our guests. I'm going to ask you two, what is your first school memory? Whether primary school, reception,
Primary school.
whatever you think.
God.
I remember nursery.
Hmm?
I don't know if that's good
Yeah,
enough.
that's fine, mate. If you remember,
So,
those,
you know,
is
like
it
the-
something you remember.
So it was a Christmas play, and I was a shepherd.
Very nice.
And you know, like the robe they have, right? So they've put it on, and it's
Big
like
boy.
quite tight. And afterwards, I'm trying to get it off after the play's done. I can't undo it, and I start like panicking. I'm like crying my eyes out. They're giving me like bourbons to eat. Like, go on, shut up, have a bourbon.
Just have a ball.
And I'm like, I can't breathe. It's like- that is what I remember. That was the first memory of being like at school.
Fuck's sake.
That
That's
was
hilarious.
So I
What
must
was
have
it?
been like 3
Oh.
or 4, yeah.
Bloody hell. Yeah, that's quite early. Nursery is very early to remember. Like, my memory does not even go that far. Like, my first memory I can probably remember was reception. And I literally just took a nibble on Lewis Gannon one day, just for the
What do
sake
you
of
mean?
it.
You took a nibble?
I bit him. Mate. And I remember my mum getting a call. My mum always says she got a call from the school, and Sharon, Lewis's mum, basically called up mine and was like, "Was it James? Like, I've just heard James bit him," and they were both like, "Thank God it was a kid." That
Did you know Lewis at that point?
Yeah, I've been with Lewis since nursery, so I knew him at reception, but it was just lucky we knew each other and I just didn't bite some randomer.
It's good you stopped biting Lewis and started biting Lauren, really, isn't it?
Oh,
Jesus, bloody hell.
Wow.
Am I a vampire? She does like Twilight.
The undiscovered relationships podcast. My first memory of school. Fuck me. So many bad ones. Fucking hell.
Too many.
We'll get into this. Do you know what? I think it's reception, and we went on a school trip, and obviously, you know, parents come along, and we went to this like petting zoo place, and the teacher, Miss Johnson, said, "Okay, now say thank you to the parents that guided you," and you just hear me go, "Cheers, Dad!" Fucking full belt. Just
Jesus.
my dad just sat there, just like,
Fucking hell.
He's not my
He's
son.
not my kid.
And he still says that now, which is quite funny.
He does still say it now.
Yeah,
no,
Max, you are the official song.
I am.
You are indeed. But obviously, school is something that provided us with some incredible memories. And I think we should just skip straight on to secondary school, because that was probably the time that us boys sort of got to know each other very well. And obviously Max and I met each other for the first time in year 7 and was in the same set the whole way through school. But what's your first memory of going to secondary school and going to year 7 and meeting these all these people that you've never met before. Did you shit
being
yourself?
on the front playground,
Mate,
remember
unreal, wasn't it?
you come in and it was like everyone was there, and you're like, who the fuck are all these lot? I'm used to everyone from year 6, and I'm thinking,
Are you giving it Conor McGregor vibes? Who the fuck is that?
I'm like giving it all that.
Who the fuck is that?
Who the fuck? No, but I was just like, I remember seeing everyone there, but I remember I was like, the day before and even the morning of going to secondary school for the first time in year 7, I was like, fuck, do I bring a PE kit? Do I bring swimming? What do I do?
Yeah.
That was when everything, so I remember I brought a PE kit, books, a swimming kit. I brought everything just to be safe.
Everything you needed. Yeah, Mum's packed you off with everything you
Didn't
needed.
even do anything. The first day of year 7, you do nothing.
And you forgot your shield.
I mean, throughout school, I've done nothing. But
it's true.
Well,
George,
we did in history.
Yeah, we did. What do you remember, Jules? Because obviously with me and Max were the first ones to go in, really, like our age, whereas your sister's been in, hasn't she? So,
so my sister went to another secondary school. She went to an all girls. I went to an all boys. But I remember, unfortunately, I was the small person in primary school, and naturally, everyone radiated to pick on me, which was fun for them, I'd say. And the summer between year 6 and year 7.
George, could you stop smiling when you're talking about yourself being bullied? Because it's not helping me and James.
No.
It's giving Max the side eye.
Thing is, I love this story because it just shows how fickle bullying is. And so the summer between year 6 and year 7, so I was a tubby little short kid who hadn't grown properly, and I grew to the height I am now. And fair play, I've bulked up a bit and actually worked on my body because I got to that height and I stopped. However, seeing the face of my bully in secondary school was the only memory I had of my first day, because he was going out one door and I was going in, and he just looked at me and went, are you George Arthur? And that was it. And that's all I remember. And I remember me saying with a deep voice, like, yeah. And because I've been a bit of a squeaker, and it was just so kind of gratifying, and it was nice. But that's the first proper memory I have of secondary school, where it was like, I remember kind of being like, I'm not afraid anymore, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. 100%.
Which is, and it's like, it's a bit deep in terms of, like your two memories of like having the whole PE kit and everything. My first memory was literally seeing that person and being like, yeah, I've grown now. You can't pick
well, I
on
mean,
me
George, when I first met you, I was still like fucking squeaky voice. I was still like fucking tall, 6 foot, but like you had like a deep voice. I mean, you had probably the same amount of hair on your body as you do now.
We were the same height. We were the same height. We were the same height when we first met.
Still, like
Genuinely.
you went. I just think you hit probably puberty a lot earlier than most people, so it made you bulk out in year 7, especially, rather than be like James. Probably turned up to school with a huge backpack.
Mate,
it's probably bigger than him.
You should see the picture.
Huge
Jesus
backpack?
Christ. This blazer, I kid you not, it still fits me now. it's ridiculous. I think it'll fit me when I'm 60. It is huge. Absolutely.
James turned up and he's got like the sleeves hanging off there. He can't walk.
That's classic though. That's classic. That's
the thing.
Classic year 7.
For me,
trousers dragging on the floor.
Yeah.
In year 7, I wasn't too worried because I think from playing football, I played football with people that I suppose the people that you say at school would have maybe been a problem. And because they knew me when I went in, it was like, oh, okay, this is sweet.
Yeah.
I feel there's a lot of people that there are obviously a lot of people that weren't in that situation that then had to face those people. And that's just horrible. horrible to feel that way.
Mm.
And I think I had that as well because obviously, you know, I knew a lot of people through family that went to my school, and that was quite nice. So beyond my knowing, my dad had a chat with them and said, you know, just look out for him. And there was one instance in a hallway where someone was like picking on me, and you just see this cloaking figure of like a year 10 come across and go, "What the fuck are you doing?" And it's like, "Oh, you done fucked up now."
It's good to know people in older years, definitely when you're first out at secondary school. So totally when you go into it alone, you're just like, fuck it, it's daunting.
Yeah, 100%. It is. Yeah, and it's like I think some people going into year 7s like really depend on their mates from school or people they know from school. I think if it was gonna be that case, I'd try and branch out as much as possible because I found friends for life in school that, you know, I wasn't necessarily friends with. You know, people in our friendship group are now in our friendship group because of me and that connection to you guys, and that's quite nice to know.
But that's the thing, though. It's spot on. Like, there's just because you're at school with the people and you meet people in primary school, right? You end up having this set group that you end up spending all your time with, and you go to secondary school. Then all of a sudden you hit year 10 and you're not friends with those people anymore, and you've got new friends.
That's exactly.
You get older and you don't see them anymore. So you just evolve and don't ever feel like those people, even if you don't like them or you've got problems, you need to stick with them because you're going to find people in walks of life, work, everything. It's so weird, isn't it? You do look back now and think, what the fuck? I wonder what this person's doing, or I wonder what they're doing.
I've got there's so many people I know where I'm just like, I have no idea what they're up to now. And I was like very good mates with them in primary school, or really good mates with them in like year 9, year 10. You know, I know for a fact that there's some people I've walked past who I was very good mates with. I've walked past them and they've acted like I weren't there. And then you're like, wow, like, yeah, but that's, as you say, like people just change.
It's evolution, isn't it?
Or
it's
not.
Just, yeah, you know, and you can't blame them. Right. Best subjects.
Oh, you beat me to it. I was literally about to say, what is your favourite subject? Who's hosting this? Lauren?
Who's hosting, George?
No, but I do agree. That's a very good question.
That's a very good best subject.
I mean,
best
for me,
subject, mate.
My favourite subject was PE. I didn't really enjoy anything else.
Oh, shut up, James. It was history. You were sitting next to me in history.
No, my favourite subject was with you. That was the best one.
My favourite subject was you.
It was going into history, sitting there, just me and you at the back, going, wait, where you up to with Barcelona? You signed anyone yet?
We were literally just sitting at the back playing Football Manager on our phones, just like that. Teachers going, put your phones away. It was a woman, so it wasn't like that deep. But it was like, it was just such good fun sitting in the back.
It was.
Taking Napoli or Barcelona to like 5 consecutive Champions League finals. Doing the old glitch where you
the money
thing up, flip it, turn it back down, and you can sell any player for 150 million.
Ridiculous. Matt Cole singing songs in the corner.
Matt Cole's, yeah.
What a man.
We won't say his nickname we had for him.
We will not.
Because technically, I am that now because the hat fit his head, not mine.
You took over that title quite quickly, to say the least. Yeah. But no, it was for me. My favourite subject at school, George, was definitely PE. It was the only subject I felt that I was ever gonna do something in or maybe thriving because it was what I enjoyed. And obviously, sport full stop is what you enjoy. But yeah, what about you, Max? What was your favourite?
Did you like the swimming though?
Definitely not. I can't swim now.
I just used to like it. Yeah. I've got a good internet now.
He's been telling us for 20 minutes at the start. My internet's unreal, by the way, boys. Sky, we just rang it. They turned it up. Yeah, go on, Max.
Boosted it up a little bit. My favourite subject, I'd have to say, like I love drama. Absolutely love drama at school. That was one of the subjects I look forward to the most. I think it was just like the whole thought of not acting as me, so I could just like do whatever I wanted to. And like, I don't know if you remember the Christmas review.
Oh yeah, of course I do.
When I was
unforgettable.
Yeah, he's back. When I done the I was the director, but he was like a camp director, and it was just hilarious. It was hilarious to do it. Like everyone was laughing. Had the most amount of attention afterwards from ever at school, ever.
Yeah.
I remember one girl, won't say her name, was like, "Oh, I want your hat." I was like, "I can't. It's my dad's." She went, "Oh, go on." And there's me going like, "Oh yeah, oh, it's a girl talking to me. Here you go."
It's amazing.
Get back, and my dad's like, "Where's my hat?" I lost it. Well, I didn't lose it. He now knows if he listens. But yeah, no, drama was one of the best for me. Just as I said, just the fact that I could like be somebody different whilst I'm just doing a subject. It was quite fun.
100%. It was good though. I enjoyed it. I thought drama was good fun. It was a nice group as well, and the fact that everyone was there was a bit like, in a way, a bit different. You know, you don't do drama GCSE or A level if you don't enjoy it and you're not expressive, because there's no way you're going to get.
Well, it's like PE as well. Like it felt with PE and drama with me, it was like I'm kind of getting together with my mates and just having a laugh.
Agreed.
Like, especially PE and drama. Man.
There was certain man in PE that we won't say names, but when we used to do swimming, they couldn't swim, so they used to go into the shallow end and walk and move their arms.
Yeah, and get the. Do you remember the polo sticks? Where they're called?
Yeah. Oh, mate.
Poggles.
Yeah.
Everyone's got to start somewhere. Wait, everyone's got to start somewhere. So we can't.
I mean, they finished there, George. They finished there as well. So
I see.
But what about you, George?
Favorite subjects. Well, if we're talking favorites, I'd agree drama. I want to be a voice actor, so it's no surprise there. And
Indeed.
I've actually done plays around Hertford as well, so there's no surprise in that. Obviously PE, I think we're all cut from the same cloth, but if we're talking the subject I'd be best in, and if I applied myself properly, it'd be maths. If I actually and the worst thing is, my mum's in the other room folding laundry and she can fully hear this. And that lady carried me through my GCSEs. And if I applied myself, I could have been very, very good at maths. Very good at maths.
Well, do you think that's a thing that, like, when we was all at school, like for me especially, I just genuinely didn't give a shit at that point in time. I was like, I don't care. I don't care if I fail. Do not care. And when I came away with the GCSEs, I was like, you know what? I'm actually quite happy with what I've got.
Yeah.
But I know for a fact I probably could have done better in a lot of subjects. But I was more interested in, like, I wasn't naughty at school, but like, if I came home, I was like, I'm not doing homework. I had that in my head. It was, I gave my time to the school for this many hours a day. When I go home, I'm at home. So I just used to do my homework in the morning at school.
And I think that Sweden, I think it is, have got it right, where they don't do homework and they've got the best results out of anyone.
Is it like 4 days a week as well?
No. So that's working. But school is 5. But they've got the best results at that point of like GCSEs points in terms of their exams out of any country. And so I see homework as pointless in my existence, really. Like at school, I'd do it, but it'd be like a rush at like 15 minutes before the class.
Oh yeah, 100%. But the thing is though, I was just going to say, George, I think that we are all very similar in terms of our parents have told us as we're going into school, you need to do well here. You're going to regret it if you don't switch on and you give this a proper go. And you come out of school and then I'm hearing people saying, oh my God, I wish I'd done this. You know, I wish I'd stuck at that. And we're going to grow up and we're going to do exactly the same. And our kids are probably going to be exactly the same as we were. So it's just a cycle, a vicious cycle. Carry on and on.
Yeah, no, it is. That's why I think, like George said about Sweden and things like that, maybe there needs to be a change in the schooling system.
Unfortunately, there won't be ever.
There won't. No.
We can hope, I guess. But I think I always hated the idea of homework because it was like at that point I wanted to go out with mates, especially when secondary school hit. Nice, Max. Like I would go down to I mean, me and Max at that point we'd meet up and we'd go and go down the Ware Priory and just hang out and just, you know, see each other play football, like whatever. It was more of I just want to go see my friends rather than anything.
Yeah.
And I think it's the struggle of having that social age where you hit, you know, puberty and you want to hang out with your mates, and then also schoolwork is so important as well. But getting that perfect balance is quite hard as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think school really shapes you. Like for me, I was just the most reserved person ever. Like I was very sort of, can't think of the word. What's the word? What's the type? I can't remember. But anyway, I was an introvert.
Shy.
I was very introverted. And I would just sort of get on, do my bit, go home. I wouldn't really do anything. And then when I turned probably sixth form was when I started expanding, going out, doing different things, seeing different people. So I think you go through school and it takes time for certain people to get to grow up and feel that way.
Because I met you, James, at Wednesday nights, didn't I?
Yeah, I think you did, years ago.
Yeah, because I met you around year 9, 10.
Yeah.
I think, because that's when my dad was still playing. And then you obviously came across the Benjo. And then I think the first time I saw you out with Max was around, year 12, I think, probably. And so what was it like for you, like the social aspect of everything? Like you obviously got on with everyone in school. Yeah. What was it like, the social aspect of being an introvert? Was it like, what were your weekends like? Like from year 10 to 11 and stuff like?
For me, mate, I was early on
sandwiches,
having fun, mate. No, seriously, I was very close with, like, we're sort of a network down my road. So there was some kids at the end of my house that are older than me that actually own the Hayek pub now in Ware. And then there was another kid down the road who I'm very good friends with still now. And I literally used to spend my weekends with them. We'd go out, we'd hang around the block, we'd go around go and play football somewhere, maybe go out for the day because they were a little bit older. And then my weekends, Saturday and Sundays, were mainly focused on playing, playing football constantly. I was just non-stop as a kid. It just never, I don't know, it was weird. Like you say, George, at school, fine with everyone, no problems, never had a problem with anyone, no one had a problem with me. So I kept myself to myself, I think.
Puts you in good stead, though, doesn't it? Now,
it does.
Nowadays.
Yeah. It does now. I mean, I quite like the idea that I never had Twitter, Facebook, anything until I turned 17, 18. I think that instilled from my mother was probably a very good idea in the end. So
no distractions.
Yeah.
I guess outside playing football.
I guess for me that's a hindrance. Like now, looking back on it, I wish I wouldn't have had social media back then. Now, I wish I'd done it at the age that you had done it. Like got on social media, like around year 11, 12, when I had actually formed as a person rather than an idiot. To put it lightly. Yeah.
I agree. I was going to ask you boys a question, actually. So obviously we're all very sporty. We love playing. We loved PE, etc. When you was at school, was you ever any part of sports teams at school, or did you find it a struggle? Because I've heard so many different stories from people.
Well, I wasn't really I didn't really play in the football team.
Yeah.
Because the teacher, who was a rugby player, didn't think I was good enough. He was just like, oh, but there's this player. I'm like, all right. And every time he used to try and pick me, or if he wanted me to play, it was usually when someone wasn't playing, like who he thought was a better player. So I just said, if you're going to play me, I'll only play if you pick me when they're playing.
Yeah,
because then I'll see that you're not just picking me because they ain't there. So he picked me, and I actually started, and I remember, oh God, set up 2 goals, one over the top ball, long ball.
I remember that game.
Down by Matt. Yeah. And then I got a goal myself, and then I got brought off. And as I got brought off, I was like, I turned to him. This is probably why I never played a game. I went, that's why you fucking picked me. And just like walked off. I didn't care. But other than that, I didn't really play loads at schools. Primary school though, I used to play I used to do every single sport. If there was a team going, anything, I'd play. But secondary school, no, because obviously we had football outside of it anyway.
100%. Ryan was the same though, Max, at school. He was exactly the same as you. He was very, more than good enough to play, more than good enough to get on that team when you saw some of the players that played. And Ryan was just like, look, if you're not going to pick me, I'm not going to play.
At that point, Ryan was playing up front, and I know which point you're talking about. And he was one of the best natural finishers I've ever seen playing that level, because he played in the team that I did. He was so good, and I don't understand why your coach never picked him.
Especially when Ryan said he wanted to play centre-back as well. Ryan was like, I'll play centre-back. Like, I'll play wherever you want me to play.
Is that when he switched? Because he's still a fantastic centre-back. That's the point.
That's the thing, isn't it? It was confusing, but school sport I found was very, very non-league in sometimes in terms of that it was just the favourites. It was the clique.
So did you?
It was always
played,
the
didn't you, Dan? You must have played.
Yeah, I played from year 7 literally through to 6th form when I left. But I still found even in year 7 onwards, it was still very cliquey. It was like, right, he took the people that sort of played. So at that time, there was quite a few of us that played for the same team, and then they got taken, and he kept them, and then he added 1, 2s, and 3s, people that he liked, I think. And then it just went from there, really. So it was interesting.
There was a lot of players I just used to sit there and think, how are you picking them? Like,
especially when we used to play football every lunchtime as well. And you're like, what the?
Like, and it was just more like, even in like PE lessons, if we was playing football in PE, like there'd be the players in the team who are his favourites. Like, and they're not even good footballers. And I think you probably know who I'm talking about, like, you know, club foots and things like that. Square head. and I'm sitting there like, hold up, I can use both feet. I'm fucking, you know, I play week in, week out. Some of these bastards don't even have a team.
Yeah, it's true, isn't it?
Sorry, it's bringing back bad memories. That's why I don't like talking about all that.
So, what about you, Georgie?
So for me, I played 2 sports for Rich Tower, representing them in 2 sports. I'll talk about football first, because we've obviously done that. I just basically, it was my first season in goal, and my fellow keeper was the keeper for Watford under 16s, and he was playing under 18s at that point. Good friend of mine. We always had good banter. Me and him trained together, and he helped me a lot actually in my first few years. Anyway, one of the strikers of the Rich Tower team, and he was one of the favourites. He was one of the glory boys, you know. And to be fair, I'm not going to give flack where flack's due. Great player, and they got to the County Cup final and they won it. Fair enough. I'm not going to give you shit. He walked past me in a group, and he went, "We've got fucking Watford under 18 second keeper, the first keeper, and Benjo second team keeper as our backup. What the fuck is this?" And I vowed to myself for that day I wasn't going to concede a goal to him in training, in a match, and I never did, because
he broke both of his legs.
I think I know who he knows who he is, I'm going to say this now. You never scored against me in our 4-1 victory as Benjamin. You never scored against me in training. So maybe just reassess yourself. Go to the Royston League again. It's easier over there. But he's a quality player. Can't score against the Benjo Bees. I think we were the A's, weren't we? Got a fucking club foot as a fucking striker. Second sport was a lot better. Actually, I played rugby. I played rugby for Richtown in sixth form. I got on well with the coach, Mr. Short. Yes, he was short. He was 5'6". But it was basically a ragtag band of misfits. Everyone in it was year 11 actually. It was everyone in the school that didn't fit in, that could just hit hard and run about and wanted to have a bit of fun on a Saturday. You got the Glory Boys over there getting the County Cup. We hadn't had a victory for year 11 rugby or our year rugby in something like 50 games, and we just put this team together, and Mr. Short just went, boys, all you got to do is this one training session. And I remember I picked the ball up at the 22-yard line, my 22-yard line, and I ran the ball all the way to the try line of the other team.
It's like Robinson
and then,
back in the day.
And I celebrated, and there were a team from Enfield. One of them just pushed me over and stamped on my head. I was like, what the fuck? Is this rugby?
Fucking hell.
Jesus.
He got sent off. And also, conveniently, I knew the deputy head of that school.
Oh, God.
And he was watching the game. And I went over to him and went, after it happened, I shook his hand and went, "You all right, Roger?" For me, sports was a great
I've got
experience.
these stud marks that hang out my head.
But sport was a great experience. I got stud in the head and told I was a shit keeper. So, but I will say this. I agree with you, James. It is the favourites. It's the special boys. It's the ones that, he's got something, isn't he? And it's like, but he's shit, isn't he? He's realistically shit, and you just haven't seen it yet. And sports football for my my form, we won 4 out of 5 years. Like, what does that tell you? What does that tell you? Like, it's like, so sport for me in secondary school was actually probably the only positive point I had.
It's true, though. This is what I was going to say. And leading on from what you just said, George, about Mr. Short, is it? Are there any teachers at school that really inspired you to and still stick for you today? And you think, like, if it wasn't for them, I would just not have done this or passed this?
I'll go last on this one.
Go on.
To be fair,
Maxie, do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
I mean, teachers that inspired me.
Yeah, either inspired you or
helped you a lot.
That helped you along the way.
Yeah.
There we go. No one.
There's not a lot. There isn't a lot.
I know.
But I'd have to say, like, was it Miss Carey?
Yeah.
For maths. If I didn't have her, I'd have failed maths. Unbelievable. Great teacher. I'd have to say, who was that photography teacher?
What do you mean? Who was that? You say it like you don't know. Ask Niall.
I can't remember her name. It's like, I don't know. I don't know what her name. I can't remember her name. But yeah, no, she was really helpful just in photography because she had just got her degree, I think, in teaching photography. So she was very kind of just helpful with like the modern ways of photography, whereas the actual head of photography at the school, who was our actual teacher, I don't know, he just didn't really care. I just thought he was a bit of a flashcock. But Yeah, no, there weren't many because I felt a lot of the teachers at Chauncey were just arseholes.
Fair enough. If that's what you think.
Fair. If that,
No, that's-
you've got to
it's
be
your
honest.
personal opinion, isn't it? It's
I just
like,
think they, I just don't think they were that good.
Yeah. It's,
Compared to what I've heard from like certain schools around here, I'm just like, wow.
But everyone has different
So
schools
under par.
experiences, though, Max, don't they? Like
Yeah.
for me, there's teachers that me and you have probably had, and I've found them as like great for me, but for other students, then it just doesn't work. You know, everyone has different teaching methods and ways of learning. So, yeah.
What about you, James?
For me, it's Fabian all day. Fabian is Mr. Smith is probably
the fables of Fabian from you and Joe.
He was just it was just amazing for sixth form, especially. He was fantastic for me and Joe, especially. He really helped us get through a lot of PE. I really struggled, especially in all exams for me were just a no-go. I was terrible at exams. I was so much a visual learner. If you didn't put a video on in front of me or show me how to do something, then I'm fucked. But
He more hands-on.
He like led us in the right direction. He was he liked to have a laugh and a joke. He was so easygoing. Whereas I found with some teachers, they were just so stiff all the time. Like, you can smile, you can have a laugh. You don't have to be
so strict. So like,
yeah, I agree.
I get that with Fabian. No, I do, because I remember with PE with him, I rathered it with him than the other one, Mr. Blobby.
Well, the thing is, I think Miss Goodwin was fantastic as well. Like, she was superb, and I think it shows. She's still at the school now, and she's still head of the section. So she's been very good for people and helped a lot of people along the way. But yeah, for me, it was literally PE teachers. There was others that helped me.
What about Miss Christmas?
Who?
Like different seasons of the year. Do you not get what I'm? I don't want to say her actual name.
I don't even know who you're talking about.
I don't want to say her actual name. Do you remember when Lee had the rounders bat in PE? He's gone to hit the rounders ball. He's gone whoop and let go of the bat, and he's just gone kung into Miss Christmas's chest.
She's just laying on the floor. And then
I was laughing.
Joe Aikens running down a hill. Miss, I think she's dying.
I'm on the floor laughing with Niall. I can't. Sorry.
She's the Windy City. Cheers. She's Seattle at the moment.
It was jokes. That was such a good school memory. I remember when we was at.
That was unbelievable. I would never ever forget that. I think that will stay with me for the rest of my life. Like, what a shot!
And it was him out of everyone, Lee out of everyone, the most innocent person ever. He's let go of the bat. I just remember him he was just stand there with his hand over his mouth, like, oh my God, what have I done?
What have I done?
I've killed a man.
It was awful.
Was she wasn't pregnant at the time, was she?
No, she wasn't.
She wasn't.
Fucking hell.
I don't think so. Yeah, that would have been brutal, George. Yeah.
That would have been. No, she wasn't. I don't think she was.
For me, there's literally one person that sticks out in my mind. That my mum and dad will say it's my old form tutor, Mr. McAleese, and yeah, he's been a great influence on my life, and I'd never take away, like, he was fantastic for me. But my maths teacher from year 10 till year 10 till 11 was Mr. Appleford. I see him in Hartford sometimes, and I always buy him a drink. Always buy him a drink. And he goes up to me, he goes, "You don't have to do this."
Who's the teacher that I've met?
Mr. Appleford.
Is that him? Oh, he's a nice guy, yeah.
He probably introduced himself as Christian to you, but
that's
Mr. Appleford. I will always buy him a drink. So the story with him is, year 10, I go into set 5 maths, which is set 5 out of 6. I wasn't great at it, and he basically pulled me behind and went, "What the fuck are you doing? You're not you're not this bad at maths. I mean, I just struggle with it. He went, no, you're lazy. You're lazy. Okay, whatever. So I do well enough. And in January in Richard Hale, they do a change. So they send people who aren't good enough down and people who are good enough up. And so I went up for half a year. And then the year after that, I got put in this set again. But this time it was set 4. So I still maintain my position. So I'm talking to him saying, no, I'm really struggling. And he goes, okay, fine. We'll sort this out. He gave me one-on-one tutoring. And then he put me up a set because he went, you've exceeded everyone else in our exams, our January exams. I want you to go harder. I want you to really succeed in this. Go with someone that you're not comfortable with and that you can actually, learn from. And so I went with someone called Mr. Marsh, who Nick knows. And don't get me wrong, me and him got on like a house on fire. And I struggled with his way of teaching, but I got there. So comes around on results day, I get a B in maths. And it's all down to Mr. Apple. So year 12, so sixth form is starting. And I'm conveniently put in his form group for that. And first day I got up to him and went, is it just coincidence that I'm in your form group? And he went, no, I hand selected you both for my form group, and also I'm going to be your sponsor for the next 2 years and see how you progress as a person and also in your lessons. And so if I didn't have him, I don't think I would be in the position I am today. And that's why every time he tries to buy me a pint, I reject it. Because I always need to buy him one, because what he has given me is priceless compared to what I can give back. And so the only person that has mattered really in my school life is Mr. Apple, because learning that I can do better in maths raised my game in every other subject. Yeah. And I know it's like, the joke thing, you had Fabian who was a big help, and, you got on with him like a house on fire. And I know that because of both you and Joe telling me. But for me, if I didn't have Mr. Appleford, then I think I may have been in a lot of trouble, because he was the one that sat me down and said, you are literally throwing your life away. What the fuck are you doing?
I wish I had a teacher like that.
And the thing is, I know there are people who listen to this from Richard Hale, and they'll all agree with me. He is one of the strictest people you'll meet, but he's one of the fairest people you'll meet.
Yeah.
And the man's a fifth Dan in karate. He will fuck you up 2 ways to heaven. But he is also one of the kindest people. Where you're struggling and where he can see you're struggling, he'll help you. And he gave me tutorship. He helped me out at lunchtime. I used to go to him every Tuesday and Thursday lunchtime to do maths, because I just wasn't sticking with it. And I carried it on. And then he said he was disappointed with me that I wasn't taking for maths as an A-level. And I just said, look, I'm looking for the easy option, but there's maths involved with sports science. Can I trust you to help me out? And he just said, yeah. And I think it's teachers like that who are just genuinely lovely and want to do it to help children and kids and also adults out. You're adults at that point that are just generally lovely. It's a bit of a long one for me, but he is genuinely a person that I look up to and will always look up to throughout my life. And one day I hope that I can just go back to him and say, I've done this, I've sorted this is my life now, and thank you for everything. And I say thank you every single time. I usually see him when I'm drunk, but I say thank you every time, because he was such a big influence on my life.
Yeah, I think that's lovely, Jules. a thing that I'd just like to, I think that's a really good way to finish, but and also something that I'd like to add is I love seeing people that we know getting into teaching now, because they've experienced everything with us, and there's some people that I'm close to now that are teachers at the school we were at, and I know for a fact that they will not be the same as the teachers I had in that subject, and they will actually enhance people's learning and actually focus on the individual a bit more, because I think that's forgotten about at school. I think the individual and the person and what they have for home life is forgotten about. Not everyone.
Yeah, they think every kid's the same,
and it's not, is it? So yeah, that's lovely, George. I mean, I think that's quite a nice note to finish on.
Yeah. I wish I had him as a teacher.
Genuinely, and Max, you've met him, and
yeah, he
like
is.
you've had a chat with him, and he's got all the time in the world for everyone.
No, he does.
And every time I see him, even if it's in the car, like he's in the car, he beeps me. If I see him on his bike, fine, because they're one in a million.
You just went.
Those people are one in a million.
You just went.
I thought you was about to go there, George.
Yeah, it just flashed up on my screen. Connections unstable. I'm sitting there like, new internet, Sky. What are you doing?
Sky, what are you doing?
But
it's definitely a nice way to end it.
I think that's lovely.
And I think one last question, just to end it. What is your resounding emotion memory from school that you have? What's your favourite memory from school?
I think my favourite memory at school is literally going into school. The thing I liked the most was that I could go into this community where all my friends were, and I could see them for whenever I wanted to. Like now, we have things we have to do. We go to work. We see each other hopefully on the weekend. But I could see everyone from Monday to Friday, and it was just such a lovely atmosphere to be in. Even when they were dickheads to you, it was nice to see them.
So that's yours.
That's mine.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice. Yeah, that's quite sweet.
What's yours?
What's yours?
Really lovely.
Because it ain't fucking mine. No. Part of it is. That was what always made me want to go to school, especially like on a Thursday when you're like, oh my god, it's Friday tomorrow, and then after that I've got the weekend. Yeah. But you're with your mates in the meantime. But for me, favourite memory, it would definitely have to be the Christmas review I've done. The play. Yeah. That was brilliant. Great fun.
Something else.
Hilarious. It was like good group of like people we was doing the play with. It was well organised. Luckily, no one slipped up. And it was it was bundles of fun just before we all went away for the Christmas break. Yeah. It was just like a happy memory. It was a nice memory.
I was waiting for you to say leaving.
Yeah.
Georgie, last one. Make it beautiful.
I think for me, it's all the people that I got to know that I actually like now. What the fuck?
You're freezing.
You keep freezing.
It's all the people that I like. No,
yeah.
I'm sorry. So do I?
No, it's fine.
It might be. I don't know. But no, it's all the people that I got to know that I actually like now, because James, you got on with everyone. Max, you're a popular person, but for me, going into that environment where I'm,
What? No, I get what you're saying.
I was.
You was popular, but you had to. I think it was more once you started to integrate between different groups.
I'd say but it's now being able to see people on the street and say, I remember fondly of you, and I like you. I think you're a good person. You know, I mean, we talked about it before when me and you talked, Max, saying about Eddie, when he came up to me and said, would you do a school reunion? I just went, no, I wouldn't, because he said, oh, I'm thinking about doing it. I just went, no, I really wouldn't want to, because I know the people that I like seeing, and if I see them, I'll go up to them and you know, say hello. But I think it's the people.
I think a school reunion, you could just.
Yeah,
I mean, that's most fucking Fridays and Saturdays in Hartford.
Yeah, exactly. And also, I just think, you know, appreciate the memories you have of people. And, you know, I think having both Nick and Joe as friends from school is perfect for me. And, you know, it's just a lovely thing to have. So that's my memories from that. It's just remembering the people that I liked. And if I'm not in contact with them, so what? If I am, great.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well,
remembering people.
Lovely. Well, this has been the MaxTalks podcast. We would like to say a massive thank you for listening again. Please like,
thanks, guys.
Share, because nobody fucking does, and
subscribe.
Get on it. Thank you very much.